for Young Writers Live Q&A.
We'd like to acknowledge that we're broadcasting on stolen lands. We broadcast on the lands of the Wurundjeri people of Kulin Nation here in Naarm. We pay respects to elders past and present and extend that respect to any First Nations people tuning in tonight. Was, is, always will be Aboriginal land.
I'm Myfanwy Jones, the author of a couple of novels, The Rainy Season and Leap, and co-author of Holograms, Modern Families, which was incidentally published by Scribe. And it's the first year I've been involved with this prize, and I'm really looking forward to my springtime reading.
Hi, I'm David Golding. I'm a senior editor at Scribe, and I work on narrative non-fiction, novels, worked on practical guidebooks, and also worked on comics. And I've been involved in the non-fiction prize for the past 4 years. This is the fifth year that I've been involved in it. Yeah. Thanks for joining us for the Scribe Non-Fiction Prize for Young Writers Live Q&A. If you have any questions tonight, please feel free to write them on the Facebook event page, which is called the 2018 Scribe Nonfiction Prize Live Q&A, or tweet them to us at express__media. Note that 2_.
And tonight is going to run as follows. We're going to talk briefly about Express Media and Scribe Publications. I have an overview of the prize. Then I'm going to talk a bit about how judging works. David's going to talk a bit more about how judging works and talk about the masterclass for all shortlisted writers and the prize announcement, which this year is happening at the Word for Word National Non-Fiction Festival. And then lots of time for questions.
Say the thing about Express Media, and I'll talk about Scribe.
Yeah, appropriately, is a vital organisation essential to the literary arts and broader communities. It's acknowledged and valued as a peak organisation for young Australian writers aged 12 to 30. For the past 30 years, Express Media has been developing, supporting and promoting young writers through workshops that develop skills, through opportunities for constructive feedback and publication, and through awards and programs that recognise excellence.
And Scribe Publications. Scribe has been operating as a wholly independent trade publishing house for more than 40 years. It started off in 1976 as a desire on publisher Henry Rosenblum's part to publish serious non-fiction. As a one-man band, it's turned into a multi-award-winning company with more than 25 staff members in 2 locations, Melbourne and London. Melbourne, Australia, and London, England. As well as we have a scout in New York and dedicated publicity and marketing team on the ground in the United States.
So an overview of the prize. Entries are now open for the 2018 Scribe Non-Fiction Prize for Young Writers. It's now in its 6th year. The 2018 Scribe Non-Fiction Prize for Young Writers is a unique development award to foster talented writers 30 and under, writing long-form non-fiction. So we're welcoming entries between 5,000 and 10,000 words across all non-fiction genres, including memoir, journalism, essay, and creative non-fiction.
So shortlisted writers will receive an invitation to an exclusive craft development masterclass with some of Australia's best non-fiction writers. And I can say, from the past 2 years, these masterclasses I think, all of the participants would agree, a really exciting opportunity, fantastic, not only in terms of the kind of wisdom that you can get from the mentors there, but also, just fantastic for the shortlisted writers to come together and be able to talk to each other and meet up and talk with, other people who are, young and writing, and I think an excellent opportunity. Shortlisted writers will also receive personalised feedback on their entry from the judges and a generous selection of new release books from Scribe tailored to their reading interests, and that's pretty excellent as well.
The shortlist is going to be selected this year by Inez.
Go on to the winner.
Oh,
they
goodness.
win. They win.
Can't miss out on what the winner receives. A cash prize of $3,000. an editorial mentorship to develop their work, which I know from personal experience is invaluable, and there's the generous selection of new release Scribe books, again, tailored to their reading interests. And the shortlist is going to be selected this year by Inez Trambas, who is on the editorial committee of VoiceWorks, Shuling Chow, who was on the editorial committee of VoiceWorks 2016 and 2017, and who is a writer for Feminazi, Peril Magazine and Meanger. Myself, and Bethany Atkinson-Quinton, who is creative producer at Express Media. So I wanted to talk a bit about how we score the work, and we do it according to 5 categories. And the first, for good reason, is originality and creativity. So we're asking, is this a new topic or a new angle on a familiar topic? Is the piece ambitious or trying to do something different, whether through style or another literary technique? Secondly, we're looking at voice. Does the writer have a strong voice? Is it engaging and compelling? Does it make you want to keep reading? Does the voice feel original rather than derivative? And thirdly, readership and commercial potential. Would the piece have a reasonably wide appeal as opposed to, say, an academic readership or niche general readership? Does it have a clear hook that will grab the reader? Does it have the potential to be extended into something longer, possibly book length? Is the content likely to date or only be of interest for a short time? And does it hold our interest? Does this work show potential for future creative development? And just to balance out the emphasis on commercial potential, the 4th category is literary merit. Is the piece well written? Does it engage with deeper themes in a productive way? Does it have a sense of emotional truth or complexity, which is particularly relevant for memoir pieces, but arguably for all non-fiction things? Are the individuals in the piece well drawn and intriguing? And finally, we assess it on content and structure. Does the piece show evidence of thought and planning in its approach to the material and in its execution? Has the writer done the necessary research or selected information with care? And does the structure facilitate the conveying of that information?
Great, and once Myf and the other judges have done the hard work of reading all of your excellent submissions, they were selected down to a short list, I think, of 8 entries, and then it goes on to Scribe, where we distribute it amongst the many passionate staff at Scribe, not just the editors, but a lot of people have an interest in this prize and an interest in writing at Scribe, and a group of us will read all of the shortlisted entries, and each read individually, make our own notes, make our own conclusions, and then be coming together and having a meeting, or more than one meeting, and sort of discussing amongst ourselves which pieces we thought were the best amongst them. I've got to say that, in the 4 previous years that I've done this, I feel like every year it's the standard of pieces. Every year the standard of pieces has impressed me, but I also think that every year the standard sort of rises a bit as well. So it was very exciting to see. People submit prize. Once we're looking at it, there's no hard and fast criteria. Obviously, we'd love to see a strong original voice. We might also like to see, a piece that tells us something new that we hadn't heard before, but we also like to see something that's an original take on things that we are familiar with. We love ambition in pieces, but I think overall, when it comes down to it, it's that kind of nebulous kind of thing where we say it's the writing itself. A piece that is strongly written in some way or another. Because we read broadly and we're very open-minded. Pieces can be quite different to each other, but there's something in the writing that kind of strikes us as being really fantastic. That is almost a big that wins. So giving us your best possible piece is like the best way to get in that shortlist and get on, perhaps even to win.
And could I add that we would encourage being daring and writing about things that you not only care about yourself, but that you also deeply want to understand more yourself, because that often comes across in the writing too. And in breaking news, we've got Bryony Doyle and Teresa Leclerc coming to do the masterclass this year. Bryony won this award in 2017.
Yes, she was. There were two winners in the inaugural year, and she was one of them. And her piece about marriage and its place in this day and age was excellent, and gone on and written a book, more generally, that's thoughtful and insightful and brilliant about what it means to be an adult these days.
It's a big topic. Even further. And it's this year too, which is a first for the prize. The Scribe Nonfiction Prize is going to be presented at the opening night of the Word for Word National Nonfiction Festival in Geelong, which is Australia's only literary festival dedicated to showcasing nonfiction writing in all its many genres and forms. And that's going to take place on Friday the 16th of November. And we're all really excited about those things together too.
Yeah, so, and because the past winners and shortlisted writers have gone on to sign their debut works as a direct result of the prize. I already mentioned Bryony Doyle with her non-fiction book, Adult Fantasy. She has also since then published a speculative fiction novel, The Island Will Sink. We had Oliver Mole, who's the other inaugural co-winner, with his exciting memoir, Lion Attack. Patrick Mullins, who wrote a surprising piece about Billy McMahon, Australia's Prime Minister, the only Prime Minister who's never had a biography written about him. And that piece was very surprising, because I wouldn't have thought I necessarily wanted to read an essay about the 60s, late 60s, early 70s Australian Prime Minister. But it was excellent. He's now gone on to write a book that's forthcoming, about 700 pages biography of his Prime Minister, which I think is every bit as excellent, which is quite amazing.
It is. I've heard it's massive and compelling.
The difference between a short piece and a very long piece, but it's very good. Drew Rook, who's written The Final Spin, which has come out recently and is about cookies, and Lex Blaine, who is got a memoir, Car Crash, which is coming up, I believe, late this year. The 2014 winner, Robbie Arnott, has also received critical acclaim for his work and was awarded the 2015 Tasmanian Young Writers Fellowship. So,
lots of places, I assume.
Good first.
So entries are now open, closing 11:59 p.m. Sunday, September 9. And you can read the full submission guidelines and terms and conditions
on the Express Media website.
On the Express Media website. So I think we're open to questions.
Okay. So, one question we've been asked is what themes that we would like to see this year. And I guess Scribe, as a publisher, has a motto that we like to publish stories that matter. I think the Nonfiction Prize, we're interested in that. Obviously, what matters has a very broad sense. We'd love to see pieces that engage with the issues of the day, politics in the age of Trump, looking at the Me Too movement, having a look at the realities of climate change. Obviously those are very big, serious topics. But on the other hand, a piece that was deeply personal and striking and original, that's more idiosyncratic, could also be piece that we're looking for. So it's hard to say, it's going to be one thing or another.
Yeah. And you were saying the other day too, something that we're unaware of, some small thing that isn't in the media.
Yeah.
That's been plucked out.
Yeah. And we'd certainly like to encourage, people who have voices, I guess, that have been marginalised in the past. We've seen critiques about, people who are, privileged and perhaps live in Sydney or Melbourne, and their voices get heard a lot. And we'd love to see people, from the country, all my life in the country until I went to university, and I'd love to hear voices from women, Indigenous voices, immigrant voices, people who are otherwise not always heard from all the time. Australian discourse.
Another question we've got is, does my submission need to be formatted in a particular way? I think the general thing is double spacing, one-sided, but otherwise, however you like and whatever fits best the form of what you're presenting. I mean, it's nice for it to be clean and easy to read as an editor, but yeah, that's really the only thing that could be presented. Verse could be presented in verse, could be presented with images. Yeah, lots of freedom.
Yeah. Also been asked, what makes a great non-fiction piece. Possibly we've sort of covered that a bit already, really. Because it is so broad, there's no one thing, and really, so again, it's just going to come down to how much you can put into the writing, some quality, whether that is some experience that you rendered more vivid than anyone else has ever rendered it, or some style that is just amazing and carries you away, or some importance about the topic somehow that you brought across.
And I think I've probably already said this too, but I work a lot with fiction writers and non-fiction writers, and I think that non-fiction writers, those concerns in writing fiction, adherence to form and arc and momentum and character is equally important in non-fiction.
Actually, we should say, really on that as well, that in past years we've been asked about how experimental we're allowed to be, and I'd say that you're allowed to be as experimental as you want to be, or as conventional as you want to be. These things won't necessarily count for or against you. It's really about how you've done it yourself. So we're certainly open to experimental pieces. It's a non-fiction prize, but obviously the terrain of what counts as non-fiction is wide open. Obviously, read all the time. Brilliant authors doing amazing things with non-fiction, sort of twisted to new shapes. Bringing pieces of fiction or bringing pieces that are questionable status that sort of problematize the binary of what is fiction and what is non-fiction in there, and that's all fine as well. But at the same time, I'm not saying that you have to go out there and do that to get our attention. So, but
it's nice. It's very wide open for us. David, what's the best non-fiction book you've read recently?
I'm going to go for a Scribe title that's just come out recently, which I know is pushing my employer, but at the same time is genuinely a book that I was surprised by. It's Trace by Rachel Brown, and you may have heard of this otherwise because it was a podcast or it was a book through the ABC, the podcast through the ABC, published by Scribe. Follows a cold case of James murdered in 1980. And I've got to say that I'm not really a true crime reader. Not because I think there's anything wrong with true crime, it's just not to my own personal tastes. But I literally read the first two sentences of this and went, I have to keep reading, and then it just kept sentence after sentence carrying me along. So I found it an exciting thing. I haven't listened to the podcast, so I'm not sure. Maybe I'll go back and listen to the podcast. But I don't think the podcast is ongoing, but it's a very exciting book. I'll say a non-Scribe example, Ongoingness by Sarah Manguso. And I think Sarah Manguso is a very interesting writer. And this is a book about, I don't know if you've heard of this, but she's writing about, so she's kept a diary since she was 13 or something like that. And she writes copiously in this diary, and this book is about her diary. Ultimately produces no samples of her writing from the diary, just talks about what the diary means to her, why she does it, what diaries themselves mean, things like this, what life means, mortality, passing of time. It's excellent as well. One that I just sort of read more or less in 2 sittings. Yeah. What about you?
A couple I've enjoyed in recent years is H is for Hawk, the memoir by Helen MacDonald, published in 2014, which is a story of her grieving her father's death, sort of lived through training an eagle. It's an incredibly beautifully written, well constructed memoir.
It's interesting because people often, for a while, I thought that was a novel because of the way people talked about it. They talked about it in terms of a novel. So,
yeah, and it does have that length of book. And another one I really enjoyed recently was The Fighter by Arnold Zabel, which is a biography of a boxer. It's sort of his coming of age story. He grew up in Carlton. And it's just a very beautifully written, again, a very strong story.
I've got a question about what do we absolutely not want to see in submissions. So I can absolutely, definitely say now, please no bad writing. There's nothing that I would really be able to say, that don't do this or don't do that. It's not really any style or content matter that.
No, so bad writing isn't any particular kind of writing.
That's right. I don't want to read something that I feel like I've read it before.
Yeah.
I don't want to read something where I feel like it's a chore to read it, or it just feels flat and dead. But I'm sure that no one's actually planning on submitting pieces like that. So I think you're pretty much set, and whatever you think is a good idea to write about, please write about it.
And my little things would be not really wanting to see slabs of undigested information, the integration in the writing. And also, I'm particularly interested in form, like flatness of form, like there being some shape, whatever shape, any shape, in-house shape, spiral or. What's next? What advice? Did we already do that? I think. What advice did we sort of covered that.
So just checking if there's any questions. Okay, so I think let's say this one. Sorry, is there a precedent for finalists to resubmit a developed version of their piece in a later year of competition? So I guess this is someone who has submitted before and wants to know if they can.
And I think that's a great thing to do. I've done it myself. Novels, like novel awards, and I know that many of my colleagues have done that in short story awards too. And I think that's always, it's a really good thing to do. And obviously you would be presenting something that's been significantly developed, but it will stand alone. We'll read it as a standalone piece.
Yeah. That's a piece of advice that we're often giving to writers, that you put something down, have a bit of time and come back to it. That you probably be able to see things you couldn't see before and really improve it. So we'd certainly encourage you to
drafting
to do it again if you think, if you feel that you've got a piece that you can rework and do again.
Yeah, and it still feels alive to you as a writer, and that means you can keep working.
Yes.
Someone asked a question about whether it is okay to use profanity in the pieces. We say that's absolutely fine. It's appropriate to your writing. Yeah.
It's all fun, and Yeah. Okay. Well, I think that's it now. So thanks for your questions. If you have any more, check out the Express Media website, and I think there'll be some links there as well with transcripts of additional questions. So some of them might have already been asked and answered. If not, feel free to contact us. You can do that at info@scribepub.com.au, or you can email Express Media's creative producer, Bethany Atkinson-Quinton, at creativeproducer@expressmedia.org.au.
And any questions are fine until that submission minute arrives. And good luck with your writing. We're really, really looking forward to reading them all.
Yeah, absolutely.